Start. Biodiversity conservation in the Western Ghats is a critical environmental priority for India, as this mountain range is one of the world's 8 hottest hotspots of biodiversity. Stretching over 1,600 kilometers along the western coast of India, the Western Ghats are home to an astonishing variety of flora and fauna, many of which are endemic, meaning they are found nowhere else on Earth. Covering 6 Indian states: Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu, the Western Ghats are a rich repository of biodiversity, playing a crucial role in regulating the region's climate and supporting the livelihoods of millions of people. The area's lush forests are also essential for water conservation, as they form the catchment area for several major rivers, including the Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri. However, the biodiversity of the Western Ghats faces numerous threats, ranging from deforestation and habitat fragmentation to climate change and unregulated tourism, making conservation efforts more urgent than ever. The ecological importance of the Western Ghats cannot be overstated. The region is home to more than 7,000 species of flowering plants, 139 mammal species, 508 bird species, 179 amphibian species, 6,000 insect species, and 290 freshwater fish species. Many of these species are unique to the Western Ghats, such as the Nilgiri teher, the Malabar giant squirrel, and the lion-tailed macaque. The region is also known for its amphibian diversity, with species like the Malabar gliding frog and several types of bush frogs that have adapted to the specific microclimates of the area. In terms of plant life, the Western Ghats feature a wide array of vegetation types, from tropical rainforests and moist deciduous forests to montane grasslands and shola forests. These ecosystems are interdependent, and the loss of even a single species can have cascading effects on the entire biome. The rich biodiversity of the Western Ghats is not only an ecological treasure, but also a source of cultural and economic significance, as local communities have relied on these natural resources for generations. Efforts to conserve the biodiversity of the Western Ghats have been multifaceted, involving government policies, scientific research, community engagement, and international cooperation. One of the most significant initiatives in this regard is the establishment of protected areas, such as national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. Notable examples include the Silent Valley National Park in Kerala, the Kudramukh National Park in Karnataka, and the Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary in Kerala. These protected areas serve as crucial refuges for the region's wildlife and are managed with the aim of preserving their unique ecosystems. The Western Ghats are also home to two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Agasthyamala Biosphere Reserve and the Western Ghats World Heritage Area, which encompasses several protected sites across multiple states. These designations have helped raise awareness about the region's ecological importance and have attracted funding and expertise for conservation projects. However, the effectiveness of protected areas is often limited by the pressures of human activity, particularly deforestation and land use change. The Western Ghats have long been under threat from deforestation driven by agriculture, infrastructure development, and mining. The expansion of tea, coffee, and rubber plantations has led to the large-scale clearing of forests, disrupting habitats, and threatening the survival of several species. Infrastructure projects, such as the construction of roads, dams, and power lines, have further fragmented the landscape, making it difficult for wildlife to migrate and access different parts of their natural habitat. The construction of large dams, such as the Mullaperiyar and Idukki dams in Kerala, has altered the natural flow of rivers and led to significant ecological changes. Quarrying and mining activities have also degraded vast tracts of land, leading to soil erosion, loss of vegetation, and pollution of water bodies. These activities not only threaten biodiversity, but also increase the risk of natural disasters, such as landslides and floods, which have become more frequent and severe in recent years. Climate change poses an additional and perhaps even more insidious threat to the Western Ghats. Rising temperatures, erratic rainfall patterns, and the increased frequency of extreme weather events are impacting the region's delicate ecosystems. Species that are adapted to specific temperature and humidity ranges are particularly vulnerable, as even small changes in climate can make their habitats uninhabitable. For instance, certain amphibians and reptiles, which are highly sensitive to temperature fluctuations, face the risk of extinction if their habitats continue to degrade. Changes in rainfall patterns also affect the phenology of plants, the timing of flowering and fruiting, which in turn impacts the animals that depend on them for food. The increased frequency of droughts and floods disrupts the natural water cycle and threatens both biodiversity and human communities that rely on the Western Ghats for their water supply. Conservation efforts in the Western Ghats have increasingly focused on sustainable development and community-based initiatives. Recognizing that conservation cannot be achieved in isolation from the people who live in and around these forests, various projects have sought to engage local communities in protecting their natural heritage. These communities, many of whom are indigenous tribes with deep knowledge of the forest ecosystem, have traditionally practiced sustainable ways of living that do not harm the environment. Conservation organizations and government agencies have collaborated with these communities to promote eco-friendly livelihoods, such as organic farming, sustainable forestry, and ecotourism. In some areas, community forest management programs have been implemented, giving local people a stake in the health of their forests and empowering them to take action against illegal logging and poaching. Research and scientific monitoring are also crucial components of biodiversity conservation in the Western Ghats. Scientists are studying the region's unique ecosystems to better understand how they function and how they are being affected by human activity and climate change. Long-term ecological monitoring projects, such as those conducted by the Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment, ATRI, and the Indian Institute of Science, IISC are helping to track the changes in biodiversity and identify areas that are most in need of protection.